Changing out your head unit from this to this. If you have a Forester, WRX, STI, in this generation, you can get this iDoing head unit upgrade to have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The goal of this video is to walk you through what this looks like, how to install it, what you're getting, know your way around it, and build as much confidence as possible in purchasing this modification so that you can spend more time enjoying it, not have any frustration installing it, and in the hopes, hopefully I can earn the rights to your business with the description link to CarmaSpeed. You can order this. This is available from many places, but we've worked with iDoing for a long time. We have a direct relationship with them, and we are a safe place to order. All of these head units do come from overseas in China. Lots of different brands. They make a great product. There are pros and cons, which we can get into in this video, but let's first focus on what's included in the box, knowing your way around, and then we'll get straight to the install. This car is very, very simple compared to a lot that I've done that you see me doing a lot of vehicles on this channel. This one's got to be one of, if not the easiest. So I'm looking forward to it today, and you getting one also, because easy mods are the best. And this is one of the best mods you can do because you look at the screen every day. You want to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, have good navigation and such. So let's get into it. In the box, you have all your wiring and the head unit itself inside some foam. Let's start with up here. This is the aftermarket microphone that you have to use if you install this. Now, this is the biggest con to upgrading your factory head unit. There's always a trade-off, and you're gonna get that nice big screen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. That's gonna be amazing. But when you have phone calls, this microphone is not that great. You're gonna end up using speakerphone a lot, and that's me being 100% transparent and honest with you. I've had many of these head units in all of my different cars, and I prefer the trade-off. I'd rather have the screen in my day-to-day life be better, and I'll just switch to my speakerphone. But I do still install this and use it because voice to text on any app, messages, etc. while driving, this still has a use. But for phone calls, it is not that good, especially when your car is a little loud or you have road noise. So we'll be installing that. That's the only major con. If you need to use the GPS inside the head unit, you need an antenna to get GPS signal. Like if your phone dies and you need directions, you can actually use this. You'll know where you're at on the map. This one right here has a little square with this plug. This is if you want to give the ability for your head unit to have internet on its own as a separate Android device all the time. You use this. I will not be installing this. Nobody really uses it in 2026 and beyond because of the added cost of having an extra SIM card on your Verizon, AT&T, Visible account, whatever it may be. This right here, paired with this, we have two different USB female plugins. This purple one allows you to do wired CarPlay. Some people like myself prefer that. It drains your battery, it keeps your phone cooler, and it charges while driving. And it's the fastest, most responsive version of Android Auto or CarPlay. Then you have this one right here with the red plug. That's a dual female. It really is just giving you multiple charging spots in your vehicle from the head unit. This one here is our 4G antenna. So if we use a SIM card, we need to install this in the vehicle in the A-pillar somewhere so that it can get good signal to the cell towers. If we hop and grab this one right here, everything's labeled. We have mic cable, which we're gonna need to plug this in. We have Wi-Fi reception, and if we're attaching to a brake. Now we grab this one. This is for our AM, FM radio, adapts to the factory antenna and plugs into the head unit. Right here we have all of our auxiliary RCAs. If you have aftermarket sound system, you can just tap right into the head unit. This harness has a plug-in for a aftermarket reverse camera, and then you're gonna have your wire that you need to tap into reverse. You have a trigger wire for an amp to turn on and off with the key, etc. What I will not be installing today is our 4G antenna, our SIM card. Everything else I'll be putting in the car and having it ready for him to use and add on as needed for the future of this vehicle. And it does come with two plastic pry tools, which are going to be handy for the install. These are non-marring, so they won't scratch your interior. First thing we're gonna do is take our non-marring pry tool, and we need to get these silver trim pieces out. I'm gonna find a spot I can pry it. I like this top. I have the exposure really bright on the camera on purpose so you can see all the details. So that just pops right out in that fashion. Now we have 4 Phillips head screws. They're very easy to spot. You're gonna wanna catch it with your finger. Do not drop them. And you're gonna slide this out. Then on the back side, you're gonna unplug factory connections. All of them have little tabs, and then the radio one just slides out for the AM FM antenna. We need to get the microphone up here next. So I pulled down this rubber seal, just get it out of the way. We're gonna take our plastic pry tool, get this SRS airbag cover off. Then we expose a 10mm bolt. We're gonna pull that out. And we can get this to just be flexible and move. So we start with the microphone up top. It has this mount, but if you pull it out, let's get the wire inside. You can actually get it to grab this corner really clean with that ball, and it's almost completely hidden. Then I'm gonna run the wire down the pillar, very straightforward. I'm gonna go ahead and put this 10mm back. And that's nice and snug in there. I love that. I'll show you up close when we get there. This goes in a certain way. We gotta put the bottom tab in first, and then it pops in. Now we're gonna pop over here, push down on this side plate, and get it to pop out. And then we can continue to run the wire. I'm gonna stick it through where the steering column is. I'm gonna reach one hand deep in here, find a crossover spot, connect my two hands. You will have a better time with this than me. I just got a piece of wire and I'm gonna stick it through and tie it off and pull it through. When you start this install, send the wire through, come down the bottom, and then pull it out, and then put it up here. I'm doing it kind of in reverse order, and the way this is set up, I'm making it harder on myself. So I'm gonna route this wire. You could also do this route. I found a metal wire. I'm gonna route it through to the bottom by the steering wheel. I'm gonna tie off the cable to it. Then all I gotta do is pull it through. There we go. Now I have my mic cable. Now we're on to the USBs and wiring them into the glove box. In the corner of the glove box, there's a little pocket you can stick it through. I put my metal wire through there. That really does make it very, very easy. Highly recommend it. Now I'm gonna take all the female USBs, because I'm gonna go all to the glove box. I'm gonna wrap the wire around them. And I'm gonna pull them through into the glove box. That was successful. Now those are ready. So I got my mic, both female USBs, and all of our factory plugs. Now we need to get our radio antenna. It has the 3M sticky tape. And then in the back here in the plastic, there's a perfect flat spot. We're just gonna stick it to it and have this cable ready to hook up right there. Before we can install the factory head unit into the car, we need to get all of these clips onto this one. Take your pry tool of choice. These clips, there's the center part that grabs the plastic. I'm noticing you wanna isolate the release of that on both sides, and then it will evenly come off, just like that. You need to make sure that these pop on. I'm seeing the little hole has like a piece of plastic. So you need to like get it out of the way so that this clip is steady and sturdy in place. Make sure they don't slide off. You have to go into the little holes and make sure there's no extra plastic from them trimming it when they make these molds. I'm gonna go in here and isolate the center of the clip with my small pick tool. Comes off easy. Come over here, clips on, feels good. Go to the next one. Looks like this one wants to come off a little easier. That one's sturdy in place. After these, we're gonna get the air vents transferred over. So you're just gonna pull up and release these tabs one at a time, and they snap out. Come over here. Make sure that all your tabs are lined up. You can set the front side in and then press the bottom in. And And then here's our finished product. All our vents still work, everything's good. All right, this is where we start plugging things in. Every plug only has one spot. All right, I've got the yellow tip harness with the backup camera if that's ever added. I got the auxiliary cables. I got the mic, which we can go ahead, plug in. I'm gonna grab the GPS antenna, screw that in to where one of the red covers was on it. Then I'm gonna grab one of the small USBs, pop that in, grab the red one. Okay, heard it click. Now I'm gonna grab the radio, the factory radio cable, AM, FM. It's all plugged in. I'm gonna get the factory harness. This is where things get really tight up in here. That gray cable goes in there. All that's clipped in. Okay, I'm not gonna click it in. I just wanna leave it there because we need to test it before we get any further. Okay, it turned on. Let's go to radio. Speakers seem to be working. I tested the microphone, I tested the head unit. All the speakers work, so I'm gonna go ahead and snap this in. Okay, all good. Looks nice. Head unit's on. Whenever it fires up, you usually go straight to Apple CarPlay. First thing we want to do is go to settings, general sound, keypad tone, turn that off. Just know that your equalizer is right here, so you can get the sound how you want. I'll let the owner of this vehicle do that. Hit the back button. Under general, let's go to steering wheel setting. So how this works, we're programming the steering wheel controls so that these still work. You press the button and then you select the one on the screen. I need two hands. So I'm holding the plus, hitting the plus, holding the negative, hitting the negative, holding the next button, hitting that, holding the back button, hitting that, holding the call button, hitting that, holding the end button, hitting that, and then the mic button, hitting that. So these are all my programmed ones that have the red numbers. Hit plus. Now when I'm hitting plus on the steering wheel or minus, it's all working. Then I can go to lantern settings, and then these can change colors, or you can select white, blue, whatever you want. This is an Android head unit, so if you want to swipe down, go to Wi-Fi. If you hold down on it, it'll take you to the Wi-Fi just like an Android phone, and you can choose what Wi-Fi to connect to download apps, connect to your hotspot, watch YouTube on here without having limitations. So for road trips, that can be kind of cool to watch things. Your Bluetooth is where you can connect your phone. You go to the link here, hit link, connect it, delete devices, whatever you want to do. We'll hit back. If we hit the apps icon here, this is where you will see all your different apps that you can download. So Chrome, Play Store, that's where all the apps and such are. And then you have CarLink 2.0, which is what takes you to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and it automatically figures it out based off the Bluetooth connection to the phone, or if you're using the wired connection. Now, let's just say you use this for 8 months, it freezes up one day or it's acting slow. You're just gonna pull down from the top and you're gonna hit reboot. You're gonna hit sure. The screen's gonna go black, it's gonna reboot. If it ever acts up, that's all you have to do. And I've had enough of these to know that once a year, you'll need to reboot it, usually when it's really hot outside, or you've just used it for a long time. All the cache builds up just like a computer. The RAM gets overloaded or something happens where you just need to do a quick reboot. When you swipe down, you can also do the brightness easily adjustable here. If you go into settings, display, brightness level, it's gonna know if your car is in nighttime mode or daytime mode, and you can preset select brightness levels for that. You can also turn on mute audio when reversing if you have that hooked up, and that's really it. You're mainly going to be chilling in this CarPlay screen once you get a few of these settings done, and you'll just be driving with it every day and it becomes your new normal with this view. There's a link in the top of the description to order this from Karma Speed and our small team here. We're a safe place to order. We work directly with the manufacturer. I hope this gave you as much confidence as possible so that when you order it, you receive it, you can install it the same day and have no issues at all, and have those little tools and ideas of how to go about things as easy as possible. I'm gonna leave all those extra tools and helpful things in the description below the head unit, so make sure you look out for that to make the job as easy as possible. If you happen to like BRZs and FRSs, I'm gonna leave that install video here. A lot of us Subaru guys have a friend that has one, or maybe you're thinking about getting one or you already have one. Go check out that install, because that's another great one that's pretty simple.